So, boys and girls, today we are lucky that we will be having General VP Singh with us, and I will soon introduce him to you people. You got some information already. So, VP, how was your this thing? Yesterday you were traveling a lot. शादी वादी में जा रखे थे?
Yes, sir. I was attending some functions. There was a rather an India Coastmate's son's wedding was getting fixed.
अच्छा अच्छा, your brows got only?
Browse cons. And
Brows got
this
only.
officer, this he was a Coastmate. He was from Lima's Con.
Acha, okay, okay. So
So
what time did you get back?
I got back around I think about 12:30, 12:45 midnight.
Acha, that's interesting. And you are ready as usual. BP, I just remember one very, interesting incident. You know what happened when we were together in the services team in 1988. So one of the Sundays was given free to us. And in that, I traveled, I don't know where. I went to Noida to look up somebody. You had gone somewhere. And by that time, evening around 4 o'clock, this is a month of December, 88, we all of us landed up in DSOI at the tennis courts. So without any instructions to anyone, we were all wanting to play only. Instead of Palam ground, we landed up at DSOI to play tennis. तो हम सब पहुंच गए थे ग्रुप ही वर्मा तो वहां थे ही थे so that's how life has been so fine so boys and girls I'll introduce General BP to you you know a little bit about him and then we will have his talk so in our series of making sense with people today we have General BP Singh with us, Ati Vishesh Seva Medal. He's retired. He's about, I think, 3 years my junior in service. So he did his schooling from St. Xavier's in Jaipur. And NDA, he's from 67th course, Bravo Squadron. And he was the bronze medalist, overall third in merit. I think, BP, you would have been this gold, silver, torchy, shorty.
Sir, I was reasonably. I was in the alpha class, but however, I
Aha.
was not a torchy. So it was
अच्छा टॉर्ची नहीं थे
a,
ओके
a balance of academics and sports. But yeah,
ओके
I was
ओके
good in academics to be in the alpha class of the.
अंडरस्टूड ओके बिकॉज जनरली आई सी इन द ब्रॉन्ज मेडलिस्ट वगैरह को टॉर्ची वर्ची भी होते हैं so you were somewhere around there fine thereafter he passed out from IMA 77th course, and here he was the gold medalist. So he made amendments for his bronze. He came up 2 notches despite the addition of direct entries and ACC person joining the IMA. So IMA, your core strength would have been something around the 450 or so. How much it was
Yes,
it?
yes, sir. Around 450.
Around 450, na? So in that, see, he was the number one in the merit. Fine. So then. Some of his qualifications, young officers course, he was the course topper. Then engineering degree, he was the best all-rounder officer. That time I was posted as instructor. I had come and played with you, BP, once, if you remember.
Sir.
Yeah. Then his radio engineering and company commander course, he got the gold medal, stood first. Then MTech he did from IIT Kharagpur in automation and computer vision. He got a distinction there. Then he went on to the social sciences and did MPhil from Punjab University. Then did MBA in HR and marketing from Sikkim Manipal University. And in the Fauji, he did the Higher Defense Management course from College of Defense Management in Secunderabad. Then he did his advanced professional program in public administration from Indian Institute of Public Administration at New Delhi. And in the decorations he has got in his career, he got the Chief of Staff's Commendation Card twice in 2004 and 2007. And then in 2021, he got the Ati Vishesh Seva Medal. In tennis, he represented the services team for 3 years. I was there only for 1 year in 1988, which was your third year, no?
I come
And
in 92 also sir, once.
अच्छा 92 बाद में भी आए. Okay, okay, fine, fine, fine. So he was there, and that time, that year, he was the services champion, and I was number five. I was the last man in the team. So we were roommates for about a month or so. We had an excellent time together. And recently, I got in touch with BP. We had lost touch. In fact, we had lost touch after that. I just contacted him once when he was posted in Five Mountain Div headquarters, and I was posted at Tejpur. So we briefly had a chat, and now we got in touch. And BP was kind enough to come and partner me in the Merit tournament, and not only partnered me, he partnered my partner also and won both the titles. So he was a surprise element for everyone. And you see his photographs, Gurgaon, we played this tournament where Puneet and I partnered, and BP, our partner in both the events, came to cheer us. Major tenures have been, he commanded EME battalion on the line of control. He did in MS branch, which is to do with postings of officers, two tenures he's done in army headquarters. Then he was as a brigadier heading the information warfare setup in Eastern Command in Kolkata. Then he was the additional director general EME at army headquarters and chief systems engineer for electronics, missiles, information systems at the army headquarters. He retired in September 22, not long back, and thereafter he is pursuing his interests of travel, sports, and reading. And I gathered that he went and watched the French Open, as well as the Olympics, as well as Wimbledon. And he has got his kids very suitably placed to he can visit abroad. Daughter is in London and son is in Riyadh. Now we're coming on to what we have requested General BP to speak to us about. In the society, uh, kids as well as a large number of parents have a misconception that to perform well in studies or make a decent career, sports is a hurdle. So General VP Singh will make an attempt to remove this misconception with the example of his own life, in which he has achieved excellence in academics along with excellence in sports. So he will be speaking to us about balancing academics and sports. So without any further talk, I will now hand you over to General BP. So over to you, BP. We are all ears.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to Col Nehru, sir, and all the participants for the today's interaction which we are going to have. I take this opportunity at the outset to thank Col Nehru, sir, for having invited me for this talk and giving me this opportunity to interact with these wonderful participants. I take it we are about a group of 30, sir.
30 are there. Yeah, some may be still joining.
Maybe joining. And if I may ask, the age group varies from what age to what age, sir?
Age group, I think there would be very few who would be the 12th ones. Balance would be the graduates, postgraduates, working guys.
So
So you can take it 20 plus would be the
we have
somewhere the
a
level.
wide group, and I take it that people have the maturity to understand, having gone through these various aspects of life.
Yeah,
Uh,
you will have
I
also some
also
service entry wala like Gurpreet who would be touching 40 and things like that, SL,
good, sir, good. So we have an age of varied experience, which is good. I also take this opportunity to thank Al Nehru for having spoken so many good words about me, right at the introductory part of it. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will be covering aspects on education, sports, inter se relationship of education and sports, the qualities and traits which sports gives to an individual. How does it impact leaders and various leadership qualities in an individual? Colonel Nehru himself has been a leader of men, and he is a great sportsman, both in army and civil life. and post in civil life after retirement, he continues to lead this academy, which has given brilliant officers to the defense forces. Uh, so he is a live example of education and sports, what we will be talking about. I would be covering certain personal achievements as life lessons, and it would not be self glorification or something of this kind. Idea will be to give certain examples purely as a life lesson, which is there. So take it that way, which is there. Now, education and learning is a lifelong activity. We have people who are from 20 till 40 attending today's interaction, which is there, and it is there in the student life, it is there in your career life, and there it continues to be as part of the adult life. I had a misconception initially when I joined the Indian Army कि एनडीए ज्वाइन कर लिया पढ़ाई से पीछे छूट गया है. It actually doesn't happen that way, and I'll give you the chronological aspect of my life which will give you an insight that education is a thing and learning is a thing which will be there with you lifelong, which is born on 1st October 1964. I did my schooling till class 11 in till 1982. So you can take it that way, studies till 82. Thereafter, went to NDA from 82 to 84. Again, continued with academics over there. Besides the military training, IMA 85, got commissioned into the core of EME, which is core of electronics and mechanical engineers. It deals with the operational fitness of the entire Indian Army equipment. It deals right from pistols, rifles, guns, tanks, uh, helicopters, UAVs, and you name everything which is there in the Indian Army is dealt by the core of EME, which is there. Post commission, I did my young officers course, did my radio engineering course in 94. Prior to that, I also did my BTech. Like Indian Army trains its own officers in engineering. So I did my BTech from 89 to 92, radio engineering in 94. Thereafter, I did my MTech because at that time Indian Army was getting into cyber a lot and it wanted to train its own officers in the field of IT, so that lot of aspects of equipment and engineering are dealt within house. So I did my MTech from IIT Kharagpur in automation and computer vision. AI was a subject then which was attended by us. I did my MBA in 2006 and 7, which was a self acquired kind of a degree while doing my service. Did my higher defense management course in 2010. Did the All India professional program in public administration, which is done along with civil services officers of IAS, IPS, and various allied services. This was in 2016, and thereafter I've retired in 2022. So if you see a chronological activity from 64 to 2022 is been covered with various courses, various educational activities going across, accompanied naturally with sports, which I'll be talking about. So learning is an aspect which never stops, right from childhood till your adult life. You continue learning and acquiring, and that is how you remain mentally and fit. A word about my family. I've got my wife, who's been a teacher of 18 years in maths of at Delhi Public School, Dwarka. She was also the head of department over there. She's actively pursued walking, badminton, and other sports. A strong proponent of education and sports. My daughter Neha, she's working with McKinsey at London. She walks to the metro station, gets back walking. Over the weekends, in spite of busy schedule, she's fixed up appointments with the gym. She goes for badminton, etc. So just to tell you as to how the leisure is balanced with the a physical kind of an activity which gives you a. I got my son. He was a sports captain in Delhi Public School, Dwarka. He went to Delhi College of Engineering, did his mechanical engineering. He was in the university team for basketball and badminton. I did very well in academics. Thereafter, He's done his MBA from INSEAD Paris. He is joined Bain and is currently in Riyadh. And during his free time, he also pursues badminton, basketball, and gymming over there. So with that, so we are a family who's a very, very strong proponent of both having done well in academics as also sports. And that is a mix. Now let us see what is education. Now, education, when we talk about it, it's a mix of learning of various subjects. You talk about physics, chemistry, maths, commerce, economics, English, Hindi, whatever it is. So we are learning this particular thing and we build a foundation. When this foundation is built, then we look towards as if a holistic education has been acquired. Now, education is very, very important for a job. At the end of the day, various people who are attending the interaction today or attending the academy are evolving and developing their personalities at the end of the day to seek a job, to acquire a job. So, education is very, very important to get a job which is there. But is that the end of it? And it has been so important in the societies, like Col Nehru sir other day was mentioning that the old adage and saying is there, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो होगे नवाब, खेलोगे कूदोगे तो होगे खराब. So people have gone to that kind of an extreme to advocate that one should focus highly on studies and should not waste time on sporting kind of activities which is there. But simultaneously, there are other sayings also. Other sayings are all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. A healthy mind resides in healthy body which is there. Sports is a way of life. जिंदगी जीने का एक सलीका है. So there are counter views to both kind of things which are there, and the right judicious mix lies somewhere in the middle where we have to draw a fine balance at various stages of our life which is there. So I have found that education is a very big teacher, but sports, I have found it in life when I look back, probably as a bigger teacher in various aspects of life and practical aspects which are there. It gives you strong values and qualities which are there. Now, we are not becoming professional sportsmen. All the entire gathering out here, which I'm interacting with, I'm sure, are not becoming, say, Djokovic in tennis or Ronaldo in football or Virat Kohli in cricket. So these are professional sportsmen. So we are trying to become professionals in various other things while utilizing sports as an extracurricular activities and keeping a judicious mix of that particular thing with our day-to-day life to make a good quality of life which is there. There's a thing which is known as connecting the dots. Now, Steve Jobs, who's the founder of Apple, in his one of the speeches at one of the prominent institutions, said that there are a lot of activities which are taking place in all our lives. There's education going on, sports going on, travel going on, aspiration for jobs going on. So many activities are taking place. And we cannot connect all these activities because the future is yet to come. So we are not able to give that kind of a relevance to various activities which are taking place. But once we look back in life and then you see why did this particular thing happen, and then you are able to associate the importance of that particular activity and you are able to connect the dots. Like in my case, when I look back, I've done my schooling from St. Xavier School, Jaipur. And when I look back and then I say, okay, why was so much of importance given by my school to extracurricular activities along with academics? They were very, very strong proponents. It was a Jesuit schools, missionaries were there. And then in my particular time, the actual missionaries were there who had come up from abroad and giving education as a mission which they had adopted in life. And then now I see as to why they used to advocate that a healthy mix of academics and sports brings out the constructive portion in an individual. I've studied in St. Xavier School till class 11, having gone to NDA and thereafter serving in life. Whenever I look back to various incidents which have taken place in life, I always find that they had a particular meaning in that particular thing and which has evolved me as an individual, which is there. Now, coming to sports in school, our school focused on various sports. They had a system of team sports in which I participated in hockey, football, etc. They had a focus on individual sports wherein I participated in swimming, badminton, tennis. They also advocated extracurricular activities in which I had picked up the sport of chess. So if you see, it's a mix of all activities of team games, individual games, and games which bring in your logical thinking, etc., and all that. So there was a aim behind putting students into sports. It was essentially to evolve an individual as a personality. It was not a bookworm which somebody was producing, but they wanted individuals who could excel in academics as also excel in various kind of sports which are there. Now team games, they build great amount of team leadership. I happened to be the school sports captain at that particular time. There you people would be playing in various sports in teams. I'm sure at various stages of life you would have become captains of those particular teams. So it starts giving you that the feeling of team, how to get around, building relationships within the team, how to lead that particular team to success. Now, individual games, they always instill a lot of self confidence and esteem into you. However, this other games like chess, which I was talking about, it brings in logical thinking to you. It brings in a lot of focus, concentration, spending a lot of time playing that particular game. It shows that you have adequate amount of time to concentrate. If you can concentrate on a game for that duration, you can also concentrate on your academics for this thing. So your attention span, your concentration, your focus improves. So if you're doing that activity in sport, you would also be able to do that activity in academics and do well in concentration. Now, our human mind has got uh, two portions. We call it as a left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Our left hemisphere largely deals with logical thinking, analytical thinking, maths, solving problems, etc., and all that. While your right hemisphere deals largely with your arts and liberal science and various other things. So, if you're following sports of various things, you are developing your brain. So, with academics and a healthy mix of sports, your brain gets developed as a machine to do various aspects. After all, holistic education is looking towards what? After having a job, etc., and all that, you have to do problem solving, leadership, various other activities in life. So, these kind of sports, they help you build that kind of a capability. Now, school one studied very hard, played very hard, which is there. In SSB Allahabad, when I first came, now I had not gone through any kind of a thing, etc., and I just landed up as SSB Allahabad. I was not very sure also whether I'll be. My parents were not very keen. They said ki you subsequently plan for IAS, IPS, etc., and all that. And my school friends were some of them were planning to appear for NDA, so I just filled up my form, etc. uh, Carried out my studies in whatever free time one had, and got selected in written examination, went to SSB Allahabad, and I was exposed there for the first time as to what was happening. But now I realize how sports at that particular time assisted me in SSB Allahabad. And this is how it is going to be impacting you people also, which is there, because you will be facing various selection boards uh, in course of or interviews in course of your job prospects, which is there. Now there came picture interpretation, story writing. It would be still there. I take it in various SSBs, etc., and all that. So what I realized was it was only positive thoughts which used to be coming to me. Whenever a story was given across, a negative kind of a sentiment or a negative kind of a picture or negative kind of a story never got painted in my mind, which is there. So we used to subsequently, when post interview we discussed and who wrote what, etc., and all that. Then I realized a lot of people had written some negative kind of a thing, etc., and all that. So sports, it gives you a positive kind of an attitude, and it frames your mind to think positive, think successful, which is there. So I'm sure people who are following this kind of activities would have a positive mindset and do well in their this. In obstacle course, which was there, I could nearly complete that particular obstacle course twice in the time which was provided. Col Nehru himself is a paramedical aspirant, and he's been doing a lot of physical activities in during his academy days and subsequently in infantry. And because of the kind of a conduct which probably I was having at that particular time, I was picked up by all the groups as part of a group team, because you're given an opportunity to get to pick up your team to do that GTO kind of a ground task activity which is there. So having participated in various group teams, you tend to contribute towards the success of the team. And so this kind of a positive attitude is seen by your colleagues, and they generally want you to be part and parcel of their team, because then they realize you're going to contribute to the success of the team which is there. So sports is a kind of a thing which gives you great insight into team building and leadership. Thereafter came to NDA. NDA, the time which we had over there, it was wonderful over there. I participated in all kind of academy, hockey, football, tennis, which is there. And by sixth term, which was there, I became the SCON cadet captain of the Bravo SCON. Now, India has got a very healthy mix of academics and sports. They have, so it was, to me, it was a continuation of the school activities which were carrying out. But I could balance academics and sports, and do, was not laden with additional kind of a thing which is there, because one was already physically fit. So very quickly one embedded into the system which is there. And then when I was in some decision making position as a SCON cadet captain, because till then you are getting led, and there's a time when you start leading. So that is the time I fully incorporated the system of academics and sports into my own SCON. I took them away from normal ragda patti which was there, and so while physical endurance and physical fitness was there, but I also ensured due attention was paid to academics, due attention was paid to sports, and other activities of team building, etc. And surprisingly, like very rarely it occurs, and Colonel Nehru would agree with me that our squadron came first in academics. We were first in PT, we were first in drill, we were first in cross country. And it was good about 32 points difference between the first and the second squadron. It was records of all sorts which is there. So NDA is a mix of various students which are there. But given a proper kind of an environment and a leadership, you can build a team into a winning combination which is there. So that is another example which I'm giving you as to how a healthy mix of academics and sports can take you ahead. Subsequently, coming to IMA, I And in NDA, naturally, all these activities, they helped me as a personal individual, and I was able to get the bronze medal. Stood third in overall merit. Coming to IMA, I was the battalion under officer. Carried on with the same kind of activities which we carried out at NDA. Ensured the growth of entire team. There are a lot of regular entries which I come across. So one was focused on their growth also, which is there. And therein at IMA, I participated in. I won the. I would say the best in service subjects, that is in tactics, which is there, etc. So it was a highly academic oriented activity. I topped that particular thing which is there. Thereafter, I also went during the course of the training itself for a national shooting championship. I was pretty good in shooting that time, got a national bronze in shooting. So one was able to balance out academics and sports at that end also, which is there. So here what I'm trying to say is at all stages of life, if an individual is convinced in his mind or her mind, you would be able to draw balances uh, between the academics and sports, which is there. Now becoming as an officer thereafter. Now once you become an officer, you are expected to interact with the troops, bond with the troops, stay with the troops, evolve with the troops which are there. And there, the team games which are there, they help you bond with the troops very, very quickly, which is there. So the games of hockey, football, volleyball, basketball very quickly enabled me to bond with the people and with the entire lot of the battalion which was there. And one had a very, very good time as a young officer in the battalion which is there. Now, here comes flexibility in a particular thought. From that particular thing, I started going for services, and during going and representing the services in nationals, etc., you have a lot of months which get covered as part of this thing. So one day I was called by my commanding officer, and he told me, BP, you have to take a call. Is it career you want to pursue, or is it sports you want to pursue? Because the battalion will not be able to spare you for six months in a given time frame. So you have to take a call. And at that particular time, so such moments will come in all your lives which are there as to how to go about it. And I took a conscious call at that particular time to pursue career while keeping a very, very judicious mix of sports in it. So, like Col Nehru was mentioning, post 92, I did not come for services and did not participate at the national level, etc. Focused on the various courses and activities and career aspects while continuously following my passion of playing at the local level, etc., and all that, and ensuring that one remain in touch. So, various stages of life will come in your life wherein currently you're preparing for a job, you're preparing for various kind of courses. So, currently focus on your career is a very, very important aspect. You cannot focus currently on sports like a profession kind of unless and until you are following sports as a profession which is there. So during various stages of life, there's a mix which has to increase and decrease, which is there. So currently you people have to focus more on academics while giving due importance to sports so that your mind and body is conditioned and you're able to focus well on your academics and keep inheriting the various traits which a sportsman gets. I'll quote you a Harvard study which has been conducted. So there is a study which has been conducted by the Harvard School, and it has emerged from that particular thing that students who have had a very balanced approach to academics and sports have always performed better in academics. That is why if you see various universities abroad, they are showing as to what participation in various kind of sports gets them credits of various kinds which are there. They have inculcated sports as part of holistic education, and it has been seen that people who are able to balance academics and sports will 100% perform well in academics, because their focus, their concentration, their dedication, discipline, it improves greatly, which is there. Now, let us see, now that we are talking about sports, now what are the various kinds of traits which get built into a sportsman, which is there? I'll quote a few kind of a thing which is there. Now, teamwork and team spirit. All team games will always give you how to operate in a team. When you subsequently get into a job, etc., you'll be finding people of various nature, various kind of dispositions which are there. Sports enables you, a team game enables you to gel and bond with various kind of people whom who are there as part of the team. Like in NDA, we have a rower camp in our fourth term over there. In IMA, we have a sixth term camp which is there. And in that, a group of say 40 cadets are participating. So it is not as to who's reached first. The team gets completed when the last man is in. So it is the team's effort which is counted. So कमजोर कड़ी कौन वाली जो activity है, it is the weakest link in the chain which is there. That has to be carried along with you. So you get to understand that subsequently in life also, it is the entire team. Like Colonel Nehru as commanding officer and me as commanding officer have to take the entire battalion. We have to ensure that we good, bad, ugly, everything will be there as part of the team. It is that the entire team has to operate. So sports teaches you as to how to go about. You're a class monitor. That is as part of how to handle a class which is there. And you're a sports captain or a team leader, you how to handle. It gives you tremendous amount of self-confidence in yourself. It gives you great amount of self-esteem. Social skills, because you're interacting with so many boys and girls, people of different kind of, you go and participate in tournaments, you get to meet so many different people. Discipline in time, practice, you have to spend so much of time. You stop whiling away your time and utilize your time very, very constructively, because you have to judiciously balance out. You have to play a sport also and you have to do academics also. It teaches you tremendous amount of dedication. It takes a lot of hard work. Balancing out both the things is not a simple thing. I still remember in school getting up early, going for some kind of a practice, getting ready, then going for the class, coming back, attending some other sport which is there, etc. It is a lot of hard work and commitment which is there. It brings in creative and logical thinking, which is there, which I have already mentioned about it. Brings in a lot of physical fitness, mental toughness, and focus. See, when you're playing an individual sport, while in a team game, your load gets balanced out. The stress gets balanced out. But when you're playing an individual sport, it is you and yourself alone only. Like Col Nehru has just won his 60 plus competition or he's participated in the double championship and single championship at Gurgaon. We participated in Merit. At that particular time, you're fighting with your own demons. You're fighting with your own self. So it brings in so much of confidence in you once you have performed well, that you will be able to take that confidence into academics and say, I am going to do well in the examination which is there. That self confidence is a thing which builds as part of a personality which is there. Then it tells you how to manage your emotions. In games, you have success and failures which are there. Not every time you are winning. There are so many times you will be losing. Then you ponder over it as to why did I lose? Where did I commit my follies? What should I do to improve that particular shortcoming subsequently? So in academics also, you will be going through various facets of life. There will be successes and failures. Take success with humility. Keep progressing ahead in life. Take failures as learnings. Do not keep thinking negative about that particular thing as to this thing. Just try and see what is the life lesson which you're drawing out of that failure, and how you can improve upon in your I've seen people who have taken seven attempts at various things in life. I have known of an officer who came through NCC and who had at least 5 to 7 attempts before finally getting selected into OTA, and he's doing extremely well in the Indian Army now. So you have to try repeatedly, which is there. So sports, it tells you as to how to handle success as well as failures, which is there. It makes you a humble person. When you are one, etc., one doesn't have to gloat around, and that is why I was trying to bring it out in the beginning. I'll be quoting some examples. It will not be of personal glorification because I'm feeling awkward about that particular thing. So sports, it teaches you to be humble in life, which is there. Morale. Sports keeps you as an individual a bright morale is high, is always chirping. People like being around you. You radiate positive energy. When people meet you, they feel happy about it. There are some people whom you meet, you go back morose after having spoken to or having met them, and you say, "यार इससे नहीं मिला होता तो अच्छा था." And there are some people whom you meet, they radiate positive energy, and you feel so happy after having met them. Col Nehru is one such person. Next is this IQ, and you already heard about intelligence quotient. It is basically as to how's your brain functioning with respect to your age. Second is emotional quotient. Games and sports teaches you to have empathy, to understand the problem of other people, to be there in their shoes and understand as to what is going in their mind, to relate with them better. So you require human beings of that kind. So sports teaches you empathy. It improves your emotional quotient greatly, which is it teaches you resilience. It teaches you stress management. You're going through a lot of stress when you're playing a singles of tennis for 3 hours, which is there. You're losing points, this thing, you're planning, strategizing. So much stress is there on that particular thing, which is there. So it teaches you how to take stress and perform well. Similarly, in academics and in various kind of jobs and in careers, etc., there'll be so much of stress on that particular thing. It is how you handle stress finally defines as to what can. So sports teaches you how to handle stress, which is there. And everyone, as it is, knows about it's a very constructive utilization of time. It is a great stress buster, which is there. Today, social media is there. It's a lot of importance, which is there. But on ground, a physical activity is not taking place. So while it has its own merits and demerits, it has got its own place in life. But sports is something which cannot be made up by something else. That is something you should pursue at all stages of your life, which is there. Sports, it is very clearly said, releases endorphins and dopamine, which are happy hormones. Once you have played that particular thing, you feel happy about it. So this is also a biological requirement of an individual. And in that, once you have played a little bit, etc., you sit down, you will be able to do in academics in 1 hour, which otherwise you would do that particular thing in 3 hours. It'll give you that focused span of study which is there with a relaxed mind, and you will be able to do much better, which is there. Now let us talk a few things about as individuals, and this is important to all of you. Self awareness is a very important factor. खुद की काबिलियत के बारे में जानना बहुत जरूरी है. And if you know खुद की काबिलियत, you will be able to do things proportionate to what you can deliver. So as students and people who are aspiring for various this thing, please understand your strengths and weaknesses. All of us understand as to what are our strengths, where are we very good at. Improve on your strengths, capitalize on them, but do not ignore your weaknesses. identify your weakness and improve on that particular weakness. Like giving an example of tennis, we have forehand and backhand. So when I started in life early, etc., I found a lot of people who were avoiding a backhand. Ki this is difficult, etc., and all that. And they would focus continuously on the forehand, etc., and end up losing matches because it is the weakness of an opponent who you tend to exploit. So you as individuals in sports, as also other things, whether it is public speaking, whether it is remembering a particular thing, whether it is writing essays, whether it is whatever be it, you should be self aware of your capabilities, identify your strengths and weaknesses, capitalize on your strengths, improve upon your weaknesses, and you will evolve as better individuals. When you're gone for various kind of things, see where you have been weak in SSB or a particular thing which is there. And if you're preparing for this thing, what are the weaknesses which you need to overcome? Focus more on that. So I played so much backhand that today I feel my backhand has become stronger than my forehand, which is there. So that weakness has got
And
converted into a strength, which is there.
sorry interrupting you, BP. That was the problem. All these opponents we faced, they were talking to me later. They said, yeah, BP, you can't attack his backhand. He keeps getting back and keeps making good placements also. I
So
said, that's why BP wins.
so that is why what sir is mentioning across, you will have a lot of things. I cannot identify. You as individuals know your strengths and weaknesses. So just focus on your weaknesses and improve upon them. Do not neglect them. Do not have a sense of avoidance towards that particular thing. Isko avoid karo type. Because that thing will come back to haunt you. So work on your weaknesses and improve yourself as individuals. And this
BP, what
entire
happens? Sorry, interrupting. Lot of girls, they have this outlook that mathematics is difficult, and they develop this fear from school days, and they don't touch it. Good that Sagita has been a maths teacher herself, so it's probably she never had this kind of fear. This is a very common problem today. In
It
our
is, it
society,
is,
I interact
it,
with
it
people.
is. So all I'm trying to tell the participants out here is, everyone will of you will have a group of strengths and a group of weaknesses. So identify your weaknesses and work upon them to improve upon them so that they can become your strengths slowly and steadily, which is there. Now it is a big responsibility the parents also in today's world, which is there, and to help the child to be self aware, to identify their strengths and weaknesses, to encourage them to follow their strengths, and not to criticize them on their weaknesses. It is a must to positively motivate an individual. It is very easy to demotivate. It is very easy to say negative. So, negativity in life should just be taken out. Negative emotion is something which a person, it will occur in life. After all, you're motivated when you have success, you're demotivated. Maybe you may not get through an interview, etc. You're demotivated. But use that demotivation to further work on your weaknesses to improve subsequently. Do not be morose, do not be too negative. Next is this fear of failure. So whether it's academics, whether it is sports, whether it is real life, jobs, there is a fear of failure always there. क्या होगा अगर ये नहीं होगा तो? What will happen if I don't get selected? Job मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा? There are so many things which are going across. Like in sports, you have to have a positive attitude and try and fight this fear of failure which is there. You have to use these failures only as experiential learning. Everything is not success. There will be failures. Failures, you have to overcome your failures subsequently to be successful in life. Somebody has said, क्यों डरे जिंदगी में क्या होगा? क्यों डरे जिंदगी में क्या होगा? कुछ भी नहीं होगा तो एटलीस्ट तजुर्बा होगा. So it is experiential learning. Do not worry about what is going to happen in life. Keep putting in hard work, and I'm sure success will come its own time, which is there. Now, let me tell you about another study which has been carried out by the University of Florida. Now, they identified a class of 1979 and they monitored their performance over 25 years. They spoke to the teachers when the students have become adults. They spoke to their parents. And what did it emerge in from the study? That students with higher self-confidence ended up with better jobs and higher income jobs in 2004. That is after 25 years of their academic this thing. People who displayed higher self-confidence in their younger ages ended up with better jobs and higher paying jobs. Also, it emerged that people who had higher confidence, higher self confidence, they had much better health as compared to students with low self confidence. So, not only self confidence helps you in getting a better job, etc., evolving as a better person, but it also keeps you very, very healthy as a machine, which is there. So, ensure that you improve on your self confidence by working on your strengths, improving them further, and working very, very hard on your weaknesses and removing them from your life. Majority of you are defense aspirants, as I am told over there. You will have sports playing a very, very important role in your life. Now, also, see, I am reminded of an incident which I forgot to mention. When I went for my IIT selection, there was an interview which was conducted by the professors of IIT Kharagpur. And I was not aware of computer languages then in army. Col Nehru knows as to how much of computers are taught, etc. and all that. So I went for the interview with confidence. And the professor asked me, Ki Major, tell me about C language. Nowadays, a lot of artificial intelligence and various other languages. That time, COBOL, C languages, etc. So I said, Ki, sir, frankly speaking, I know the alphabet C. I have known nothing about it, the C language. But I can only assure you as an individual that given an opportunity, I will learn it, and at the end of the course, I would be one of the finest students of this particular. So it was only a confidence which I was displaying, and rather than fumbling at that particular time, this is the answer which I gave. I said, sir, I've been in army. I'll be able to adapt to various kind of things, and I'll be able to pick it up. I've been good in academics, and I'll do well. I can only assure you that I'll do well and not let down the establishment which is there. And he says कि और क्या कर सकते हो आप हमारे लिए? I said कि sir, like whatever, will you be able to contribute? Our students are very averse to give time to sports. We have inter IIT competition coming across, and you say that you have been playing badminton and tennis, so you will be able to participate and represent our IIT in inter IIT. I said, sir, positively, I would be, it'll be an honor to that. So I joined. I was given the seat. I went over there. I did exceptionally well in IIT. At the end of the day, I had a score of 9.2 out of 10, which was, I was probably ranking second in the entire class, which is there. I participated in inter IIT badminton and tennis as promised by me. And I can very safely say it was the sports which got me into IIT. So sports will give you dividends of various kinds across your life. Today in Riyadh, etc., my son is sought after for over the weekend. Ki, come and play badminton with us, come and play basketball with us, etc. They're looking across. So sporting activity will give you a lot of dividends during life. Now coming towards certain other aspects, I talked about sports and the relationship with leaders and leadership, etc. Now let us see what are the traits commonly between a leader and a sports which gives you various kind of things. Now who is a leader? It's a very simple thing come across as to who is a leader. Now, it is defined that as an individual who leads, guides, or inspires is a leader. An individual who is perceived by the group members as having a legitimate position of power oblique influence in a group automatically becomes a leader of that group. So if the group respects you, you evolve as a leader as part of that group. And there's a salient difference between leader and leadership. Now, what is leadership? Now, it is the art of influencing people for successful achievement of a goal. So, leader has got that art. An application of that art in order to achieve a successful goal is what is leadership. And it's got a catch in this particular thing that leadership only exists if people follow when they have the freedom not to follow you. Otherwise, it is power and not leadership. If people on their willful accord follow you, then you're a leader, which is there. So, in any kind of a sport, etc., and all that, a situation evolves for leader. So, once you go for your SSBs, etc., and all that, display those kind of characteristics, and sports automatically will give you that kind of edge in these things which are there. Now I'll just rattle out a few leadership traits and you can correlate it because I've already told you as to what traits sports is able to build in an individual. At the end of the day, a leader he has to be able, he has to be adaptable, both things in sports. He has to be brave and courageous. To win, you have to have that kill spirit. Again, a sportsman has it. A leader is a person who has got character and is creative. He's got problem solving capabilities which are there. Again, a sportsman, this character is there. You very clearly say ki this is out, this is right, this is right, this is wrong. Whatever this thing is there, it teaches you those skills which are there. Self-discipline, dependable, dedication, determination, endurance. You have to work very hard. You have to sweat a lot. Empathy. You have weak players, good players. Somebody's got hurt, etc. Display of empathy, which is there. Focus, flexibility, physical and mental health. It teaches you how to be judicious, just in your dealing, which is there. A leader has to have logical and creative thinking, problem solving approach. You have to be mission oriented. Your morale should be high. If you have a low morale, your entire team will be of a very low morale, which is there. You have to have strong self belief in yourself, self confidence, which I was talking about, and you have to be a team man. And it is said that the most important thing about being a leader is to treat everyone with kindness, respect, and listen to them. Then people will want to be in your team and you can achieve great results. So, all these aspects which are being told as part of leadership traits, they are there in a true sportsman. Now, I have tried to follow everything what I've said in life. I've, uh, I've enabled my children to follow the same particular thing. We have been a very, very strong proponent of academic and sports. But it is a must that a judicious mix and a balance is there. At various stages of life, you will have to weigh a particular thing more. So at stages, you will have to weigh academics more while keeping a fine balance of sports. And there'll be times when your well settled activities are there, things are going on across well. That time, probably you can devote a little bit of a more time, which is there. But keeping a judicious mix is something which you will have to identify in your own life as to how to carry on with it. But I can very safely say that academics and sports can go together, or rather, they should go together. A judicious mix is a must. Importance of sports in quality of life as a healthy pursuit, both in student and adult life, is there. Your constructive utilization of time is there. It builds quality, friends, relationships. And at the end, I will say that have self confidence in yourself, do well in life, play hard, study hard, and finally, I just say that remember that there is no shortcut to hard work. Absolutely, you have to put in hard work and rigorous hard work in preparation for your jobs, which is there, and preparation in playing, in whatever activities you do, put your heart and soul into it, be totally committed to it, and I'm sure at the end of the day, success will be there, and all of you will evolve and do well in life. So, with that, Nehru sir, I have done my bit of talking. If there are any questions, if there are anything which students want to interact and discuss, we could do that.
Thank you so much, VP, for a very, very insightful talk. You have brought in your experiences and also the studies to corroborate things which you had told. As also, it's a very nice to learn that the teachings which you had imbibed from your teachers in St. Xavier's, they could permeate to your family, and your kids also voluntarily imbibe those kind of things. They continue to do that. They're continuing to maintain a very healthy lifestyle, as also getting success just the way you have been getting. Fine. So it remains for me to thank the General VP for his time, for sharing his views, and on behalf of myself and also our student. So thank you so much, General VP. Please take care. We'll remain connected. Thanks a lot. Take care. Good
Thank
day
you,
to
sir.
you.
It's been a pleasure
Okay.
interacting with you and the participants over there, and I carry back fond memories of this interaction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, General VP. Take care. Bye bye.